Hey guys, welcome in. We are doing the last commentary video for the year of 2025. Today we are going to be covering the Booty Creek Cheek Freak. It is, in many ways, a mini game. It is super short, it's like a little spin-off game that is included with the A Night at the Gates of Hell. And so it was actually one of those things that I just was not ready for. I really just wasn't ready for. So, for a while I was like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go on our revenge arc for going and playing VHS horror games. And I've loved pretty much everything that Puppet Combo has put out. I'm not good at it, but I do love it. And so, I'm sitting here and I'm doing my thing. I go and I beat A Night at the Gates of Hell. And this was one of the unlockables. There was another unlockable as well, but it just really kind of, I haven't gotten around to playing as much as I should have because it's like one of those old wave-based, survival games that actually has an end game. And I was going to, play it, beat it, and port it, but I just haven't had time. Mainly. So when it comes down to this game, it is basically the best and the worst out of the 70s and 80s. So it's very much so a stereotypical horror film style game from that era, but it also has other quote quote taboo things that it literally would go and throw at you, weird kind of homoerotic stuff, which I actually thought was just funny as hell, and it's important to note that this game just does not take any section of itself seriously, which is more than fine. It is more than okay, and I always kind of laugh a little bit when I go back and revisit this because the more that I go and actually look at the game, the more I realize that it is quite literally just stupid for the sake of being stupid. And that is what I love about it. It does not take itself seriously. It does not try to go and break the mold. It really just doesn't do anything. It is just the silliest and the dumbest damn shit that I think I have seen in quite some time. And it has all of the strange shit that you would literally expect from the 70s and then a fair bit of the 80s. None of it makes sense. It's literally you can tell that whoever the hell was sitting down and working on this damn game, you could tell that they were just going and having a fucking giggle while they went and they worked on it and stuff, and I think that's what really makes it great. So the premise of the game is that there is a legend, an urban legend, a myth if you would, about some sort of creature in the woods that literally goes and kills people and, steals their ass cheeks. It is literally so funny and so stupid at the same time that I just don't really know what the hell to go and do with it. And I think that's kind of what makes it great, because the entire experience is so short and so absurd. You're just kind of when it's done and over, you're just kind of sitting around and saying to yourself, okay, what the fuck? And that's pretty much it. You look at it, and you're just kind of saying, these things to yourself, and you don't know if you should be happy, sad, aroused maybe, it's just one of those things. And so it was actually quite silly because I had to go and do a couple of runs of this game because much like A Night at the Gates of Hell, this game is actually very, very buggy. And so I had to go and look up a guide because there is a section where the asshole that's chasing you around the woods literally goes and he doesn't want to leave the bathroom, essentially, as weird as that is. And so you would have to go reboot the entire game, start the run all over again. So when I was going and filming this, I was quite literally going and having the same issues that I would see with the other game that this game was packaged with. And so it took a couple of runs, but we had finally gotten there. you know, everything was right where it needed to be, and I think that had taken a lot longer than, in all honesty, what it should have.
Look,
You know, so it was kind of weird because the game is incredibly short. I think it's only around, I want to say, maybe 20 minutes long. It is just a very, very short experience that, you know, you're kind of in and out and on with life, and it's just a good giggle. It's definitely not one of those games that you want to play if you're easily offended and stuff. It's literally just one of those goofy ass things that you kind of go and you look at it and you say to yourself, oh, okay, you know, this is very obviously meant to be tongue-in-cheek and out of pocket and everything else, and you know, it just is one of those games that just has really no fucks to give. And so you go and you look at it and you kind of just say to yourself, yeah, this is actually happening right now. It's very much so a mile a minute. It's got like little sprinkles of Hellraiser in there. It's got little sprinkles and nods to Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well as Friday the 13th. You can definitely tell that the developer was like, yeah, we just kind of want to have fun with this, you know, and it's meant to be a very easy to digest experience. It's definitely not the main course by any means, and you know, I really like that about it, I think. But it is, like the other game, it is crafted in Unity, and with Unity comes a lot of issues and stuff. There was a fair bit of texture warping and, you know, just various things that I think that I had to contend with over and over again. And the first couple of runs, I definitely did not nail it at all, you know, and it wasn't even so much like not knowing what to do, because I can kind of make up for that, go look up a guide. I think the main issue that I was going and struggling with the most is it would crash a fair bit. But to be fair, Knights at the Gates of Hell literally suffered from the same damn issues, so it's not really saying much. It would crash, it would have texture warping. Sometimes the guy that is literally going and chasing you just wouldn't leave the bathroom. Sometimes, you know, certain areas wouldn't load in correctly. It's just like the kind of standard bullshit that you typically see with games that are made in Unity, you know, just a heavily flawed experience. But it was one of the things that made me realize how much that I love this little shorthand experience here, because I just kind of remember sitting down and saying, you know, this is very, very fun, you know. It's very, very fun, and I just really want to keep kind of going back and, you know, kind of keep trying over and over again, because I know that while it's considered an out-of-pocket game, it is an experience that is actually worth having. And so you kind of just sit there, I think, past a certain point, and you're like, okay, well, I want to keep going back, and I want to keep doing it, and I want to keep going and refining the method. And it was just one of those things where I had decided that it was just worth doing. And so, you know, it was just kind of an experience from start to finish, and it is just so damn bad that it's good, and it's so stupid that it's funny, and it's just, it really just kind of, you go and you look at it, and you know, it's like one of those games that you don't want to be caught playing when, like, your significant other walks into the room, because you know that as soon as, you know, they walk into the room and crap and they see you playing this shit, you're going to have to answer for it. It's not a question of if you're going to have to answer for it. It is a question of how are you going to try to go about justifying this mess. So I think that it literally is, you know, one of those things where it's like, okay, you know, I'm going to go ahead, wait until everybody's outside. You know, I'm going to wait until they're all out of the house. I'm going to creep up. I'm going to lock the door. I'm going to beat this shit while they're gone. And I'm going to try to not get caught while doing it. You know, like, it's just one of those things, I think. You know, and I think the older I get, the more I kind of like these VHS-style horror games. And even if they have a ton of comedy, it really kind of, I think as I went about playing it, it really kind of gives me the same vibe as like a trauma film. I think because I remember growing up as a kid, I used to watch a lot of trauma films, and they were so just out there and so silly, and, you know, like, it was just pretty much everything that I had loved about that era, and I think that the Booty Creek Cheek Freak does a pretty good job of capturing that in various horror movies from the era, and like it does trope after trope after trope, and it's just really, really nice in that regard. So it was just kind of a silly experience from start to finish, and I was actually very, very glad that I had an opportunity to sit down and actually go and film it. And so while I was going and filming it, much to my disappointment, I was caught. My girlfriend had walked in, and she was like, "Hey, what is this?" And I had no words. I had no words. I had no excuse. I didn't even want to like mutter the title of it. She's like, "Oh, this looks pretty cool. What is it?" And then she had walked in while I was actually going and coming up on the chase scene, and I had just kind of said to myself, if I don't say anything, she will eventually stop asking.
What am I gonna do now?
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It doesn't work. Like at all. It just does not work. There is no way in hell that you would be able to actually go and justify it, because once you're caught, man. Like, once you're caught doing weird shit, there really is no going back from it. You know? So right here, I'm not really sure what happened with the recording. It was actually kind of strange, because normally for this segment there is an extended chase scene that actually goes and like takes place, and you go through the woods and everything else, and but it seems like when he had actually gone and caught me, it had more or less kind of gone and warped me straight to the ending sequence where I have to go around and collect various body parts and stuff while going and avoiding him by going and using cans of fart spray on myself. And so it was just really kind of one of those oddball things, because the first time I was doing the run of this, I was literally going and having the realization that yeah, I'm literally collecting dead body parts while walking around a bunker that has various office spaces, while going and routinely hosing myself down in, dare I say it, fart spray. And so I thought that the entire ordeal was actually really laughable and stuff. And so she had sat down and she had watched me play this mess. She was literally just kind of sitting there. And it was so funny but so stupid, because there like comes a point in time where your significant other just kind of goes and like they catch you doing some shit, and you kind of sit there, right? And she's just like going and she's looking at me, and she's like, I can't really see her that well, but I can just hear the disappointment in her voice, right? Like, I'm sitting here and I'm playing this and I'm having the time of my life, right? And I can just literally hear the disappointment in her voice. She's literally sitting there, and I'm going and I'm doing this sequence, and she's just like, oh God, Raim, really? And I'm just like, yes, really? Like, I said it, and I had like this incredibly wide shit-eating grin on my face, and I'm just like trying to go and play and beat this particular game, and I could just like hear the disappointment just creeping through her speech with all of its full-blown delivery, and I'm just sitting here trying really hard to not laugh, you know, but I'm like sitting here going, yeah, like you get caught with it, you know, and it was just so funny. So I sat down and I beat it and stuff, and she was just kind of sitting there, and she's like, listen, I love you, but you got some explaining to do. And I had nothing. I literally just had jack shit the entire time that I was going and playing this mess, and I was just like, you know, yeah, this was worth it. Like, this was actually worth it and stuff, and I had stumbled around a fair bit, and it took me a couple of runs to literally go and get to where I needed to be, more or less, because I had the same problem with this game that I had with Stay Out of the House, and that was I literally had struggled with going and seeing a lot of it because I just either it's too brown or it's too gray or just something. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the entire commentary for the Booty Creek Cheek Freak. So for those that actually came out and stuff and had a good time with this whole shit, you know, I greatly appreciate your time and your effort, and thank you for giving me everything that you guys have to offer me, you know. And until next time, by all means, please be good to yourselves and each other. Take care.
I'll see you in hell, bitch.
Wish you were here, Gary. It's a beautiful night tonight.